Hi folks, Noah here. So I'm working on a wonderful combination of creative high, um, sleep deprivation, um, heavy duty pain meds, and being sick. Hence the heavy duty pain meds and sleep deprivation. Um, but this video is not about those things. This video is more about the creative energy impulse side because in the past 4 days I've had one doll or ball jointed doll related dream a night for 4 days straight. And it's both a wonderful thing because yay creativity. It's also a bad thing because I can't actually go out and do those things right away. So I'm not going to talk about 4 dreams, I actually want to talk about 5. Because in this video, this may get split into 2 parts. Probably will. But in this video, I actually want to talk about my favorite doll dream I've ever had. Because it's still one of my favorite dreams I can remember. Which is nice, because usually most of the dreams I remember are either nightmares or just really weird. This was slightly weird and very happy. So, it does need a little bit of framing, but I'll try to keep that minimal. So, the city I live in, my hometown, we have a ridiculous amount of thrift stores and secondhand stores. Like, we have so many. I think every single neighborhood, except for the absolute newest of developments, has at least one. And anytime you get anywhere close to any of, pretty much, if you get anywhere that's more than 30 years old, then there is more than one thrift store. There's 2, or 5, or 10. What I'm saying is there's a lot of thrift stores, which means that we have both like the big name ones, like Salvation Army and Value Village and Goodwill, and we have small independent thrift stores. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the feel of the Curiosity Shop is based on my own experiences going into these small thrift stores, because a lot of them have a lot of them have a good amount of presence. You walk in there and you're like, this is not completely ordinary. Like there's something a little bit peculiar. It's a little bit of a warping of space here. And I think the thrift store that best embodies that is one of my favorites. Even though I can't go in there very regularly. Both because, I would buy too much stuff, but mostly because I have asthma, and that place has like pretty much no organization, so there's a lot of dust everywhere, which sucks. But this dream actually took place there, so I'll need to explain a little bit what the building is like. Because I don't know if any of you have had this, when you dream of places that you've actually been to, there's always something a bit off. Like maybe doors open the opposite way that they're supposed to. Or maybe it's just, like there's a light there and there wasn't a light there when you were there. Like things not quite in the right place. Well, when my dream self recognizes those things, I pretty much get ejected out of that dream. I don't get to see how it ends. The illusion has been broken, so I have to get out of there. But the nice thing about dreaming, about this dream having taken place at this one thrift store, is that all of those weird little things that would normally, like, eject me out of a dream actually exist in reality. The floors in the rooms are different heights. Yep, that's true. The walls in the rooms are different colors. Well, mostly. the lighting's really weird in a lot of places, so mostly each room has its different color. Um, you've walked into a giant room and there are mannequins uh, almost at the ceiling and they're staring down at you. Nope, that is actually completely true. Even though last time I went there, the mannequins had been rented out. So they weren't staring at me. But, usually, yeah, they're there and they're staring at me. The dresses are at least one head taller than me, if not two. Yeah, no, that's also true. So none of these weird things that would usually make me go, oh, this is a dream. Well, they didn't make me go, oh, this is a dream, I need to wake up. Because that's what the reality is like. It's a very strange place. I haven't been there in, oh gosh, since first snowfall, so that's a good number of months ago. That's a while ago. Um, I'm due for another visit, clearly. Um, anyway, so now on to the dream. So in the dream, I went there with my fiance Epee, which we actually do. Once again, this is a bit of reality. We do actually go there. We do antique hunting on dates and thrifting on dates because, like, why not? We both love history. Why not go to thrift stores and antique stores? So we go in there, and Ipe immediately goes to where it usually goes to, which is this massive, like, um, the glass counters they have at, like, the, like, diamond stores and stuff where, they have the jewelry out on display inside the glass cabinets? Yeah, well, this store has one of those. This massive one that wraps around a whole section. And it is one of the few bits that actually has consistent organization. Because that's where all the fancy jewelry is and all of the knives and the military stuff and the tobacco related things are all in there. Probably for legal reasons, security reasons, but it's a bit of organization that somehow exists. There's a little bit. It hasn't been entirely eaten by the chaos monster that is this store. So in the dream, Ipe goes over there, and I decide to see what I can find in the various rooms. Because, as I've already mentioned once, there's almost no organization. There's the glass cabinet, which is full of the stuff I listed, and then there's a room that must have been the old industrial kitchen area, because it's like kitchen cabinets, kitchen counters, and tiled floor. You go from wood floor to tiled floor all of a sudden, and you're like, yeah, no, this was a kitchen. And in there you find everything related to kitchens. There's tons of appliances, kitchen appliances. There's cookbooks, utensils, and then the chaos from the other rooms has, like, slipped in. So there's, like, children's toys, and I'm trying to think, what else did I find last time? I found a record player once, just sitting where a stove probably used to be. Okay, so in my dream, I'm going through and I'm finding these things. I'm just searching, and it's like, oh, yeah, well, if I duck in through here, and push back these super long dresses, then I find all these historical books. And if I spin around this way, there's lamps everywhere and stained glass tables, etc., etc. And most of the dream was me just, like, exploring, and I was finding amazing things, but I wasn't finding anything that made my brain go, like, no, this is too amazing. You could not actually find this at this store. Everything I was like, yeah, no, they could actually totally legitimately have that. Like, if it exists, they may very well have that. So, as happy as that bit of the dream made me, the bit that broke the illusion made me the happiest. Because what broke the illusion was I went from the room where the mannequins were staring at me, the mannequins were staring up at me, and I went into one of the tiny, tiny hallways. There's a whole bunch of tiny hallways in between the rooms. Not all the rooms connect directly. They connect to these little hallways. Um, and they're so cramped that a lot of the times you're kind of like debating with yourself, like, as a customer, am I actually allowed to like use this, or is this meant for employees only? Like backstage, like what is this? Um, but in the dream, I decided to walk along it, and I'm so glad I did that. Dream me, um, because one of the spots, instead of there being paintings on the wall and this like really rickety bookcase that was obviously made by hand, bookcase filled with books, instead of that, the bookcase was covered with VGDs. And I bet you're probably all now being like, oh my gosh, like it was covered with BGDs in your dream. Yes, but a very specific time period of BGDs. From Volk's precursor to Mini Super Dolphy, so Volk's Ian, all the way to. I'm trying to remember what was the latest one I saw. The latest one I remember seeing came out in 2007. So basically, it was all stuff from like essentially the beginning of the modern hobby to when I got Flair, to when Flair arrived in my hands, and oh god, it was just so wonderful. I literally just stood there, and that was when I stood there staring at them, and I immediately went, "This isn't possible. This is not actually possible. If anyone in our entire BGD community in the city, which is a good 30 strong, if any of us knew this had happened, like we would know who would have donated these. Like, like this wouldn't be a mystery." And that's when I realized, oh, this is a dream. And I kind of felt myself like starting to pull back, and I went, no, I want to see how this ends. I don't care if it's a dream. I want to see what happens after this. After I find this bookcase of old BGDs. And I don't remember what all the sculpts were. I remembered what most of the companies were. And actually, I'm going to list some of the companies off because I'm going to see if I can find some photos of the dolls, because it'll help a lot of you who probably entered the hobby way after 2007 to visualize what I'm talking about. There was a Volks Ian, which was the precursor to Volks Mini Super Dolphy, so a bit shorter. There was a 1999, which I only know because of how thin the resin was, 1999 Volks FO1, who I didn't touch, actually, even in the dream. Because last time I had a dream and a, like, original FO1 showed up in one of my dreams, when I touched it, it cracked and then crumbled to dust. So I didn't want to break the dream by doing that, so I just kind of like skipped over it. There was also a Volks Rio, and oh god, Rio. I'll talk about Rio. So I have to talk about Rio now because it's one of my favorite folk sculpts ever and has an amazing story behind it. Volks Rio, also known as, I believe, Old FO8, potentially. I'm not sure it's actually what the old numbers were. But Volks Rio, RIO, they're all based on one doll. It's actually based on an owner of a Nono, Volks Nono, back in 2001, had modified the eyes of their Nono to be bigger. And then they brought that doll with them to a Dolpa, and the Volks representatives who were there loved it so much they said, hey, do you mind if we make an official unique mold, like sculpt mold, for this modification you did for Nono with bigger eyes? And also, would you be up to designing a limited edition of that doll that's based on your doll? And I'm like, so in my dream, there was that doll. There was that limited edition doll was there. And the Volxian and the FO1 that I didn't touch because I didn't want the dream to turn to a nightmare. But it wasn't just Volks. There was Custom House. There was so many Custom Houses. There was the Custom House from the Dollmaster movie. There was the Custom House unique eyes, like they're unique ones. Unique eye as an AI. Dolls in like 10 and all the weird sculpts they came out with. And it was amazing. And like I was like, by the time I passed that, I was like crying as I'm looking at like all of these dolls. While knowing it's a dream, I'm crying. And it's like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. And then after all of the Custom Houses, there was actually two Cerberus Project dolls. There was a Human Sue, and there was a Minifee Wink Ari, because of course there was, because there was one of my favorite Minifee sculpts, because it was just so weird and like no one had her. So anyway, so there's those two. And then there was Happy Doll, which I'm going to, like I said, I'm hoping I can find photos of these dolls because I'm just saying the names and you have no idea what they look like. But there was Happy Doll, and there was Elf Doll, and God, there was Orient Doll. Yes, there was Orient Doll because there was the tiniest little thing, you know, Tay, and there was Nares, and there was Limoise, and it was so beautiful. And interesting enough, there weren't any Tinies. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's a lie. Technically, the little juniors are Tinies. So there's Tinies, and there was Blue Fairy, and it was so wonderful. And there was like 20 of them. There was more than 20. I only remember counting 20, but there's clearly more than 20 in the dream. So I picked up Rio, because of course I picked up Rio. She's a no-no, but more with bigger eyes. Like I take Rio with me, and like pat her on the head like this, and go over to the glass counter where Ipe is talking to the co-owner of the store about some of the things that are underneath the counter. Not because he's interested, but just so she has further information to be able to pass on to the customers. And he turns around, you know, and I've got this big old doll. And I'm just patting her head, and I've got, you know, like tears still going down my cheeks. And it's like, you found a BGD? And I found a lot. And then, like, I asked the co-owner woman, lady, what, like, how did you get these? Because, remember, I know this is a dream, but I want to hear how my dream is going to logic this out. How it logicked out was, well, I have the boxes and certificates there, but do you really need to know the full details? No, not really, no. And then she's, well, you know, they haven't really been selling well. They've just been sitting here for months. And I was like, oh, months. So, you know, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Oh my god, there's so many. Why are they still here after so many months? Why has no one in the community realized that they're here? Yeah, so I think I might have to get rid of them. And with the no arm, no, you can't. And in my dreams, she says, well, then do you want them? And I go, yes, but I'm trying to, you know, work out the money, and I'm like, okay, well, I counted 20, but there's clearly more than 20. I think there was some behind the ones I saw, and even if I did, like, I mean, Volxion on its own is like 200, so like, oh my gosh, that would be like, I'm like looking at a lot of money. That's a lot of thousands of dollars, and you know, and I think, and you know, she sees me looking away and looking down at the Rio and looking away and looking at the Rio, and she says, "Well, how about 100?" And I remember my brain just complete brain fart. I go, 200? Just no, 100. 200? No, do you want the 100? do you want me to take them for 200? And then she goes, 200? I go, uh-huh. 300? She's okay, 300. You can take the lot for 300. And the dream ended with Ipei and I putting all of the over 20 dolls into their boxes and loading them into the car, and me turning to him and going, this is clearly a dream, but then I'm so happy. And then I woke up. And I woke up both like super overjoyed. As you can tell by the smile, like the dream was really happy, made me really happy. But I also woke up with a feeling of, oh dear God, what am I going to do with that many dolls? And of course, as the light was streaming into my room, and I was looking at my dolls on their dresser, this is after I woken up, and looking at the dolls on the dresser, and I actually counted them all up, and okay, good. It's under 20. That dream did not happen. I do not need to figure out what to do with over 20 old BGTs. But it was a nice dream to have. I just don't think I'd really want it to be reality. I mean, obviously that would be awesome reality, but also, what would I do with that many? Okay, but hopefully, hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and I'll try to find those photos and put it at the end. So